Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest video, where I narrate two stories taken from Reddit. The first one is a bunch of aliens reminiscing about their first meeting with humans, until the surprise announcement of a new crew member sends them into a panic. And the second story explains why human stares send all aliens into a tiz. And, as always, I hope that you enjoy. Story number 1. My First Human, written by Lbry Father Anthracite. In all the spiral arm, there is only one constant. That constant was humans. No matter what environment, no matter what the job, humans were a constant in known space. Of every known species, humans were widely considered the most outgoing, curious, and friendly. At least off planet Earth. All the ones still on Earth were friendly enough, but the explorers and extreme extroverts had gone out to space. This had left strange rumors and myths emerging about humans. If you went to any bar, cafe, or gathering spot, you could listen to the Sophons exchange stories of human shenanigans out amongst the stars. There were common stories about the absolutely insane things humans would eat, the strange animals that they were always trying to keep as pets, the insane strength hidden within their tiny bodies, the apparently fearless way that they dealt with high-stress situations, the friendship they offered, and the fierce loyalty that came with it. But other stories, the ones you heard in hushed tones, those painted in details of what humans were. The story of a human locking themselves in their berth for days, grieving for a friend who had passed. The story of a human who was so desperate to pull a friend to safety that they literally ripped their muscles apart. A human rescuing an orphan and raising it like it was their biological offspring. She did too. I still write with her every couple of months. Here's a picture of her son. He just graduated from secondary education. A combat was passed around the table, where a picture showed a human female being hugged by a massive alien wearing some sort of robe and matching flat-topped hat. Nice. They look so sweet together, said Baikonur, who smiled down at the picture before passing it on. I remember my first human. Her name was Nicole. She was a passenger on a passenger transport that I worked on my first bids. She had the most beautiful dark brown skin, and her hair was a giant halo of softness that seemed to explode off of her head. She was always exuding bright blues and greens. The Baikonur had a particularly wide range of vision, and said humans emitted energy in the infrared that most species couldn't see. I remember when I first saw her, sitting in a chair in the corner of the lounge, hunched over a portable computer, just blazing deep blues like she was on fire. I could tell that she was concentrating, so I didn't bother her. At the end of my shift, she was still sitting there, many demi-cycles later. I approached her to see if she was okay. She apologized for commandeering the little nook that she was in and explained that she was in the middle of writing a computer program. Apparently, she got into something called flow state, where she had heightened concentration and focus. Supposedly, human programmers are sometimes known to work for more than a cycle, uninterrupted. I would have assumed that she was joking, had I not seen her do this very thing several times during our time together. Truly, a remarkable race. Speaking of first humans, mine was a core maintenance engineer. He was skinny, even for a human. He lived on that coffee stuff. I remember him popping out of the most random spots, usually with some sort of tool pack in tow. He was always doing wired maintenance no one really understood. But at the end of his bid, he got a bonus for improving fuel efficiency of the core engines. One time, we were struck by some sort of debris, and the coolant pipe cracked. He shimmied up the pipe with a patch clamp and hung upside down with his legs while he attached and tightened down the clamp. When he finished, he was covered in coolant and said, "Now that's a good time." He's a bit of a legend on that ship. I can't wait to be my first human, said a greenhorn the rest of the crew had taken under their wings. They sound ridiculous. Oh, they are. But you have to be careful. Some humans are pranksters, said the Kurgik crewman. I think it's some sort of cult of chaos or something, because any human that says that he's a prankster will play jokes on you whenever they can. They caused no end of disruption. My first human was one such, and I thought myself, surely if the whole race is like this, it is made of lunatics. Fortunately, most humans are not pranksters.
My first human, said a small Baron, was an absolutely massive creature. He was an author, a writer of human literature. He specialized in travel documentaries, with a focus on regional culinary specialties. I remember thinking that it was strange, because I ever saw of him as eat was lightly seasoned root vegetables. When I asked about it, he said that after years of eating dishes that were barely compatible with his biology, he tended to eat bland food to spare his body trauma, until he arrived at his destination. He said that he did it for his fans. I didn't understand, but after a few moments he explained that he meant admirers of his work, not devices to create airflow.
Many at the table laughed. Human languages had many idiosyncratic traps that made conversation interesting, to say the least. At this point, the Zachki officer, who had been sipping a beverage a few seats away, came over and said, "Not to interrupt, but I have heard from the captain that he has hired a few humans who are joining us at the next station. 2 crewmen, an astrogation check, and a cook. Good evening, gentlemen." The Zachki waved and trotted out of the bar.
"What's wrong? Why did everybody go so quiet?" asked the greenhorn.
"Human cook. Is the captain mad? I better get some non-perishable food."
The greenhorn looked confused. "I thought human cooks were supposed to be some of the best. Why does everybody look so worried?"
"Most of the time they are. Most of the time," said Kirkuk. "But sometimes the human cook is a prankster." End of story. Story number 2. Their Eyes, written by Swifthound. Human eyes. Nothing quite like them in the galaxy. Humans themselves don't always notice it, but most others do. If you stare into the black void for a moment longer than you normally would, you'll see something spectacular. Their eyes give their wants and worries away freely to anyone who looks into them. Most avert their own gaze the moment a human starts to stare. The feeling is frightening first. I've seen waiters ask humans what they'd like to order at restaurants, only to yelp in surprise as the human's eyes lock onto theirs. Sometimes a human could cause someone on the street to jump away without either of them really knowing why. The worst cases are always when a human surprises someone in the dark, often causing light panic attacks. Most of these times, both parties were just as surprised by the other before eye contact was made. Some just shrug off the strange feeling and go about their day. Others theorize that it is caused by their predatory eyes, having both eyes staring in at the same direction, causing a primal fear reaction in species that were originally a prey of something. While that most certainly contributes to the effect's intensity, it's not the cause. Many predatory species exist within the galaxy, and none of them cause other sapiens to react like humans do. A few nutcases have started assuming that humans are inherently malicious, causing fear and anger to fester in groups bent on proving themselves right. Nothing could be further from the truth if I'm asked. The eyes of a human move blindingly fast, always darting straight to another spot, only to do the same over and over again in split seconds. Many species take their time in looking towards something, turning their heads along with their eyes. Human eyes always look at you before their head. Their eyes always lead their heads, which can look extremely disturbing, according to some. Many get the feeling that the body of a human is just a piece of flesh, led around like a puppet on a string, with the eyes conveying the true being inside. In a way, they're right. The eyes of humans are the windows to their soul, as the humans like to put it. The true reason is the sheer intensity. A human is never without passion for something. A perfectly calm-looking human on a date for the first time might look calm on the outside, but in their minds their mental alarms are blaring. They aren't relaxed, even if they look like it. When the waiter finally comes and asks the human for their order, the sheer disparity between calm outside and fire in the soul hits the person so intensely that they have no choice but to react. After they see the human's eyes, however, the feeling vanishes and they no longer seem calm to the observer. It takes a look into their eyes to truly know what they are feeling like. A human can be going about their day to day, once again normal on the outside, but thinking about a future exam at school. A shopkeeper might direct a question at the human, only to receive a flash of their anxiety delivered by their stare. A human worker on the way home after a busy day bumps into a co-worker, locking eyes with them and sending all of their stress from the day flying towards the unsuspecting, causing them to feel it all in a hot flash. After the moment of effect lingers, suddenly their words and body movements make sense to others. Their eyes are the only thing that truly communicate how they feel. They might speak to someone, trying to convey their feeling, or even cry in front of another, but not a single true emotion gets transferred until they lock eyes. It's almost like a key. You have to feel that flash of emotion before you understand them. But once you do, you'll see the human completely differently. Their care and passion can be felt by others, bringing incredible floods of emotion from an otherwise unassuming form. Other species communicate their emotions more subtly, giving indications with their movements, colors, posture, and the like. Only humans have such an incredible intensity that it remains unseen to the outside. I once gave a speech in front of a mostly human audience and nearly fainted once I opened my eyes to look at the crowd. The front row was teeming with passion and excitement for my speech. I had never felt such things so strongly. My speech was changed on the fly and I was ever more invigorated by their eyes. For every sentence that passed my beak, I received a rush of emotion from them. I had to look past the crowd to calm myself enough to begin ending my speech. I could have gone on for hours if I hadn't stopped myself. Their eyes are a wonderful spectacle to witness. I enjoy going to cafes and talking to humans more than any other species. You can never know what they are feeling like until you call them out and stare into their eyes. It's exciting, exhilarating, and it feels so special to connect to someone so easily. I fear that I have gotten addicted to humans in this manner. Whatever you do, don't avoid a human's gaze. It is rude and dismissive by their culture. Even more importantly, don't take away your chance of feeling their emotion flash into your mind. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let out the air again and open your eyes slowly, striking a conversation. Feel their eyes burn into your mind as the floodgate of emotion passes you. Take a hold of the emotion they give you and relish in it. Whatever the human might be feeling, be it good or bad, after you look into their eyes, you will understand them. End of story. Just a quick shout out to the T5 peeps. Bob the Dragon, Cat Crab Lobster, Data Magnet, Dark Machine, Bezic, Try Again 95, Fudic Yol, Astrea the Dreamer, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Athelia, Meridian 117, and Jordan Bucksmorm. Thank you very much. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There are links down below, both to support this channel and for the author of this fiction. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.